At least since the advent of modernism, art and literary criticism has been dominated by the idea that legitimacy is granted only to examples of autonomous production. This is understood as art for art's sake, or the practice of reflexively interrogating the medium of the artist's chosen field to create avant-garde works experimenting in form, material, movement, space, time, figure, and narrative. A quintessential example of this would be one of Mondrian's early explorations of grids from 1916. In opposition to this is the commercial world of heteronymous art, where works are created for money or favour. An example would be one of Mondrian's lilies, painted in 1921, that he would sell in order to be able to devote himself to his grids. The logic states that the first, autonomous, is good, the second, heteronymous, is bad. The first is high culture, the second is low culture. As I noted in the previous section, however, this already ignores the fact that early commercial comics, even in the US tradition, were highly experimental. Such a blinkered view is now uncritically repeated in the pejorative use of the term mainstream, which encourages us to forget that even its most flagrantly commercial products nevertheless retain some element of autonomous production, where creators continue to explore what comics can do. The question that Jack Kirby was no doubt asking himself when he produced his first double-page spread for Captain America Comics number 6 in 1941. It has also been well documented that EC published material that was both aesthetically innovative and politically significant. Works by Harvey Kurtzman and Bernard Kriegstein are often held up as exemplary in this regard. It must also be noted that this innovation and quality was killed off by the Comics Code, driven by a moral panic already fueled by assumptions about high and low culture, and what is to be deemed worthy and what is trash. The use of mainstream comics today remains informed, I believe, by these prejudices. In the 1960s, the artwork in commercial comics continued to evolve. Again, Jack Kirby's monumentalism and his work in mixed media are really good examples. In fact, the artwork of Silver Age comics had become so stylized that it was recognized as a new way of seeing and representing. In short, it was a new form of art. Of course, for that legitimacy to be bestowed, it had to be appropriated, if not actually plagiarized, by the institutions and agents of high culture. Once, in this case, Irv Novik's work in All-American Men of War number 89 from 1962 had been translated into their own discursive practice, it was good, but they continued to pour scorn on the originals. I would argue that this attitude continues to inform some of our use of the word mainstream today. It is also evident in the knot of bourgeois anxieties collected in the term graphic novel. I don't deny that graphic novel is a useful term